Okay, boaters, we are back again. I got just a couple of real quick tips for you here. What I'm working on is the half round on the cabin side. The little trim piece of teak that they put on really sharpens up the boat when it's in place. Divider line between the cabin side and the cabin top. But a real pain in the ass to varnish. It's about I don't know, 3/4 by 3/8 thick, rounded on both sides. Now, the original one did not come off very well. It was used, put on with butyl rubber, and that's one of the things I'm going.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to show you how to deal with here real quick. The other thing is when it came apart, it was in a bunch of little pieces. Now, I totally remade these pieces. The wood was hopeless, but what I did do is glue them all back together with 5-minute epoxy. It seemed a little weird, but what I was after was those screw holes. I want them to directly match up with the screw holes already on the boat. I did not want to have to re-drill a bunch of holes into the cabin side. I really try to stay away from doing that as much as I possibly can. So I took and glued all the pieces of teak back together again, put them on the new piece, drilled the hole, then lined everything up, and then remade those pieces. So hopefully those holes all within tolerances to go back onto the holes of the cabin side. Now I'm going to set this thing down. I'm going to show you. Well, I'll show you one thing here real quick. I talked to you earlier about chisels, and that's one of my favorites. And I said that the reason was it fits so well in the hand. Now, this butyl rubber up here is a real pain in the butt. To get out, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. You have to get it off the hull to remount your new wood, your new metal, whatever it is. And this is one of the ways that can be done. Probably the only way that it can be done. But you're going to spend a lot of time with that chisel in your hand, and that's why it is real nice to have one that fits well. So I'm going to do a quick show here. I've done about 4 feet before I thought about doing a little show how on this. Lots of people know how to do it. Maybe somebody don't. But here goes. This chisel is real sharp, and I'm going to move it up. It's kind of hard to do with the camera in the way, but you're getting the idea. It's got to be sharp. You're going to work it around. It's going to peel that rubber off, kind of like filleting a fish. And you have to have that chisel sharp and flat with no edging, because anything that you have, if that edge is not really nice, it's going to dig into your glasswork here. You don't want that, but you got to get that butyl off somehow, and this is tough stuff. Even though it had ceased doing its job, when I put this all back together, it will be done with silicone, not because silicone's better, but because if you look, my screws are not bunged anymore. They're going to be exposed. So if I use exposed screws and silicone, I can get the same result, but I'll be able to get this piece of wood off relatively easy without breaking it apart, and relatively quick. In a few years, I'll sand this down and put another coat of varnish on it to keep the varnish looking nice. That's so much easier than having to tape top and bottom and try to sand in place and then try to finish in place. It's just worlds easier. So I've been converting this whole boat from where they've put the wood on and screwed it on and then bunged it over. I've been converting the whole boat to exposed screws so that I can get this apart. And for the most part, I'm going to be using silicone to put the boat back together again. Anyway, real quick start on this. Then I'm going to shut the thing down and go back to working without you. Anyway, so that's what you're after. little movements. You gotta be careful around these screw holes. If you're going to dig in, that's where it's going to be. You don't want to do damage to your hull. Afterwards, I'm going to take and run my buffer wheel over this with a polishing compound over this whole cabin side to get it back to a glossy state. But I am definitely not doing that till I'm done in here in the shop with finish work, because I definitely don't want all that dust coming off of that wheel floating around in the air, especially with the wax on it. I'll never get a finish on any of my wood. Again, that's the challenge of working in one area for everything. But alrighty, have a good day.